Have you ever looked at your savings account after a year of doing everything right, skipping the expensive dinners, saying no to that weekend trip, and felt nothing? You check the balance and it's moved, sure, but it hasn't changed. It feels like you're trying to push a literal boulder up a mountain. You're sweating, your back hurts, and when you look down, you've only moved an inch. Most people quit here. They assume wealth is for other people, the lucky ones, the tech geniuses, or the ones who inherited a head start. But there is a specific number, a mathematical glitch in the system, where the boulder finally reaches the top of the hill and starts rolling on its own. That number is $100,000. Today, we're talking about the physics of the first $100,000, because once you hit it, the rules of reality literally change. Charlie Munger, one of the greatest investors ever, had a famous and slightly aggressive piece of advice. He said the first $100,000 is a total nightmare, to put it politely. He said you have to get there no matter what. Walk everywhere, use coupons, find a way. But why? Why is 100K the magic threshold? It's because of a phenomenon called exponential growth bias. Human brains are wired for linear growth, 1, 2, 3, 4, but lily pads grow like a lily pad on a pond. If a lily pad doubles every day and covers a pond in 48 days, it doesn't cover half the pond on day 24. It covers half the pond on day 47. On day 24, the pond looks practically empty. That is your bank account right now. When you're starting at zero, you are the only engine. Every dollar in that account came from your sweat, your overtime, and your sacrifices. Your money is just sitting there, lazy, doing nothing. But at 100,000, something structurally shifts. Your money gets a job. Let's look at the brutal math. If you invest $10,000 a year at a 7% return, it's going to take you roughly 7.8 years to hit that first $100,000. This is the slowest, most painful stretch of your life. This is where you feel like you're failing. But watch what happens next. To get from 100K to 200K, only 5.1 years. From 200K to 300K, 3.8 years. By the time you're going from 300K to 400K, it only takes 3 years. You're putting in the same $10,000 every year, so why is it getting faster? Because at 100,000, that 7% derives $7,000 a year on its own. That is 70% of your total effort happening while you sleep. Your money is now a full-time employee who doesn't call in sick, doesn't need health insurance, and never gets distracted by a shiny new truck on the highway. This is the inflection point. This is where compounding stops being a concept in a textbook and starts being a real, breathing force in your life. If the math is so clear, why does the median American household retire with only $410,000 after 40 years of work? Because of the automotive Stockholm syndrome and the housing squeeze. We've been conditioned to think a $700 car payment is normal. If you took that $735 a month and invested it for 30 years instead, it becomes $1.66 million. Most people aren't buying a truck, they're buying a $1.66 million future they'll never get to see. Then there's the Henry trap, high earner, not rich yet. You see people making $300,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck because their lifestyle expanded faster than their soul. Compare that to the boring millionaire. The average millionaire in America isn't a tech founder. They are teachers, engineers, and accountants. They drive used Toyotas. They stayed at the same company for 25 years, and they simply refused to interrupt the machine. So how do you actually reach the top of that hill? You use the 7-5-3-1 rule. 7. Commit to a 7-year minimum horizon. Do not even look at the score for 7 years. That's how long it takes for the doubling effect to feel real. 5. Diversify across 5 asset types. This keeps you from panic selling when one thing goes on fire. 3. Prepare for the 3 emotional phases. Doubt in year 2, frustration in year 4, and panic the first market crash. 1. Commit to 1 annual increase, just a 1% or 5% bump in your savings every January. It sounds like a footnote, but over 30 years, that 1 burrito bowl a month increase can add $379,000 to your final balance. The first $100,000 isn't about buying a Porsche, it's about breathing room. It's the difference between a car repair being a crisis that ruins your month and it being a minor inconvenience that you pay for with a shrug. It's the walking away money that gives you the confidence to ask for a raise or leave a toxic job because you aren't desperate. Physics are hard at the start. It's supposed to be. But if you can stay boring long enough to hit that first $100,000, you've already won the game. The hill gets steeper and the boulder starts to roll.
Stop pushing. Start building. I'll see you at the top.
Subscribe me for more interesting videos about finance.